Hello and welcome to our radio. Today is 24th December 2020 and we have some important topics to talk about. First, we'll discuss an important article that appears in the Hindu newspaper which talks about polls or elections during the pandemic. Now we know we are suffering from a very big pandemic. The virus COVID-19 has struck, and now we are also seeing that the virus is mutated in United Kingdom and the cases have been increasing. We are also seeing the fact that if it can mutate in place like UK, it can mutate anywhere in the world, and that would be very, very common. Now, what comes into picture is the aspect of elections. During the pandemic also, we have seen elections across the world, not just in India, across the world, in places like United States of America, in South Korea, and in India we saw the Bihar elections, we saw the Hyderabad elections, so on and so forth. These elections are a calculated risk, and it's quite risky, but then they are calculated and they're done in the right way, and millions of people have voted in these elections, including the Indian elections. Now these elections are a picture of how a democratic setup works, and be it a pandemic or be it whatever, people want to exercise their political liberty, they want to exercise their personal rights, political rights, and this doesn't stop them. And if you talk about an election in India, it's not just about that very day. It's about the campaign. It's about the people. It's about a lot of people coming together for the rallies, so on and so forth. So in India, elections have been done, and what is noteworthy is how the author relates two things: elections and a pandemic. So in elections, there are three aspects. First is the voter, that is us. Second is the candidate contesting for the election, and the third is the Election Commission of India. And in pandemic, there are three things. First is the public that needs to be protected. Second is the healthcare system that promises to protect us, and the health policy measure that takes care of this protection. Now, there is good relation between these three things. They're coming together in a proper way, and they should be taken forward in the right regard. And how everything is characterized, how everything is significant should also be understood. Now, Bihar elections that were held during the pandemic are a fine example about how in India polls were conducted during a tough time and polls were conducted during a crisis. Of course, we have upcoming polls in Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Assam, West Bengal. So we will see how this will pan out and how Election Commission of India will be able to handle it. If it is not handled in the right way, Election Commission of India, of course, will be responsible for it. But then we are hoping that, like Bihar, it will be done in the right way and no unfortunate mishaps will happen. There are three things that the author talks about here which can come into picture if you talk about elections during the time of the pandemic. And these are the measures that can be undertaken to undertake or just put forward an election during a pandemic. First, what we are supposed to do is we need to prioritize this category of people who are taking part in the elections. I'm not talking about the public. I'm talking about the election commission staff, the election duty staff, and the security forces. So when you conduct an election, all these staff comes into picture. The security personnel like the police forces, the CAPF, and various department people come and serve in the election duty. So these people have to be placed in the priority category of giving the vaccine to them so that they will stop fearing their lives and do their political duty in the right way or their obligation in the right way. So one thing is that priority is important. Second is the rules for the voter becomes important, where a voter has to be made sure that there is social distancing maintained in the voting queues. They are wearing a mask and they are not allowed to enter the booth without a mask, and there's proper sanitation of their hands when they enter it, and the equipment or the people or the infrastructure is sanitized in the right way. So second is the rules for the voters. Third is about the senior citizen category. Now when you talk about senior citizen category, we have to make sure the senior citizens vote in the first 3 hours of the elections. Before other people come in and they'll be exposed to the virus, they have voted in the first 3 hours, or you can say a separate queue can be made for them where they will not be exposed to this particular thing. So this time when we are doing the elections, our idea or our motto should not be just free and fair elections, but it should be free, fair, and safe elections. So that should be our motto. And we have to save the democracy by conducting elections, of course, but we'll also have to save the lives of the people. Very nicely written article. This can be made use of while writing your mains answers. Then we are talking about an important sport which caters to our art and culture and other things. This is the Jallikattu. So you must have heard about this sport. It's been quite in debate and controversy and discussion. So this Jallikattu sport is a bull taming sport which is predominantly practiced in the region of Tamil Nadu. So what happens here is a bull or bulls are bought in a common place where the ritual happens. The bull is irked or provoked, and the participants who take part in this are supposed to embrace the bull's hump and try to tame it and stop the bull. So this is the basic sport. Now this sport is usually conducted, or this sport is usually practiced during the time of Mattu Pongal in Tamil Nadu region. So in Tamil, the word Mattu means bull and is dedicated to the cattle. Now bulls are given precedence over the cows because the bulls are pretty important to the people. They help in plowing the fields, they help in pulling the cart, and they'll help in mating also, which leads to better production and so on. So bulls are important, and the word Jallikattu is derived from the word Kalli Kattu. Kalli means a coin and Kattu means a tie. Previously what used to happen was you can say a pouch or a bundle of coins would be tied to the bull's horn, and the person or the tamer was sought to remove this bundle from the animal's head, and he would win gold and silver and of course the coins as well. So he would be awarded as a brave person. So this practice went on and progressed and became bull taming sport eventually. So this is referred to in our ancient scriptures or this thing also, where we have seen an Indus Valley seal from about 2500 years ago depicting the practice. The seal is currently in the National Museum, Delhi. Apart from that, we have seen a cave painting that depicts a man taming a bull, which is again 2500 years old. We have seen the references of Jallikattu in various scriptures, or you can say various writings of the Sangam age, like the Silapadikaram and several others. So this is quite an ancient practice, you can say, that's been existent in this particular region. Now organizations and civil society organizations and people oppose this practice because the bull is being subjected to a terrifying situation. Several times bull is injured, several times the bull loses their lives, and the bulls are often provoked with various things like sticks, like knives, like alcohol, chili powder, and the most important practice of betting takes place on these bulls. So a practice was supposed to be you can say stopped according to the people, and the people who are like, let's say PETA, they are opposing this. They are saying that this is not good, but the people are in support. The people are saying this is our culture, and how can you put an end to the culture? This is our practice, this is age old, this is ancient. So these are the pros and cons, or you can say for and against arguments made for this particular thing. So it's been an on debate since the year 2006. There has been on and off, where the ban, no ban, and then it goes on and on. No need for a discussion on that, but just keep your facts ready about the pros and cons. So this is about Jallikattu. Now the Tamil Nadu government has given a nod for the sport to take place and has said every tamer who's participating should be tested before he takes part. Lastly, we'll talk about the medium range surface to air missile. Now this medium range surface to air missile has been test fired. Please note it's medium range. Its range is medium. It's not long, not short, or it's surface to air. It goes from the surface to air. So this two things. Second, it is developed by DRDO, that is Defense Research Development Organization, in partnership with Israel Aerospace Industries, and this been test fired in Chandipur, Odisha. Now Israel's collaboration comes into picture when you talk about the medium range surface to air missile. It is usually put in the Indian Army. It is 18 canister launch. It plays quite a vital role, and it has one command control system which will track missiles, which will track radar, mobile launchers, etc. And it has various state-of-the-art technologies that comes into picture, and it has a good potential for the Indian Defense Forces. So yeah, this is a small little discussion that we had today of 3 different news that comes into picture. That's it from today's R Radio, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Until next time, stay safe, take care. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon also. Take care. Bye bye.